it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Hmm.
And um, we're, I mean, it's part of why I feel like as much as both of us want to resist the um, bad metaphysics of materialism, um, we're also just that's the ocean we swim in, and there's no way to deny the the situation we find ourselves in, which we're gonna very quickly in the next probably in our lifetimes have a situation where there's a real like speciation event where
Hmm.
people are going to be like the next version of the iPhone in terms of like the communications revolution, new technology that changes everything. There's a before and after is going to be an implant of some kind. It's going to be like a kind of uh, nervous system interface that's, yeah, it's just another step along the path we've already been on, but at the same time, it's going to cross the skin boundary in some sense. And so, what's artificial and what's natural is going to break down. So, the transhuman revolution is upon us or going to happen, and we have to contend with that. If we are spiritual, or I'll just use that word and we can talk about what it means, then uh, for whatever our reasons are, we're going to want to say, there's something important about what the human being is that gets diminished and shrunken, um, and goes off track if it fully embraces this mechanization of not just of nature but of the human as well. And there's something to be communed with, and something to be learned from that would be beyond what can be programmed or reduced to an algorithm, and that the only way we can relate to that is not going to be through our calculative intellect, our mechanistic mind, but through a form of, well, various other organs of perception like imagination, inspiration, intuition. And very few of us have been educated or enculturated in such a way that we take inspiration, intuition, imagination seriously as ways of knowing, that are just as important as intellect. And I mean, even intellect is relatively rare, at least in the United States. I don't know where. In order to resist this transhumanist technologization of everything, we need to take serious, not just take seriously as in like, oh, I believe in the power of imagination. No, like actually cultivate it. Begin to see imaginatively. Begin to cultivate relationships, not just to ideas, but to the beings who communicate those ideas from non-physical realms. Like actually begin to be able to communicate, so that you're not just, this isn't just about a wish or a hope that these sorts of things are real. It's like, if we're going to head off this harmonic uh, diversion of the flow of human evolution, we're going to need more than just belief. It's not that we need a new religion or a new ideology. It's like we need a new way of seeing. And I feel like, I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like a lot of your work is an attempt to help people see in a different way, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I like what you said about like the imagination, the intuition, inspiration as ways of knowing. This is one point I've been trying to kind of hammer home lately. I haven't gotten to the point of dividing up imagination, intuition, and inspiration in the way that Steiner does. So I've just been using imaginal as this kind of catch-all, the way that Barfield does. But I've been saying a lot lately that what's really important here is seeing the imagination as an epistemological faculty, and seeing empathy as an epistemological faculty. And I think those two things are very closely related. Our
Mm.
ability to perceive in an imaginal way is perceiving into things. Like the way, I love the way that Gebser talks about this. He says that within that kind of integral vision, awareing, he says, we render the world transparent. We see the diaphaneity of the world, and so there's this seeing into the depths of things, and with empathy, with an ability to actually experience what other people are experiencing. I mean, that's what that is. We're actually perceiving the inner worlds of our fellow beings. And so there's a connection here. It's you have the metaphysical, which becomes the epistemological, which then becomes the moral and the social, and leads into these questions about what to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, the Goethean method of doing science is, like you were saying earlier, harnessing empathy as a way of knowing, as an organ of perception.